objective focus. Because it's too eye-catching. Zhang Anping glanced at the two women. He frowned. He knew both women, because of the older. She is Lu Zhongtao's original daughter-in-law. The younger one is Lu Zhongtao's mistress. And the woman who licked herself, shameless vixen. Ah, what are you? It's good to scold me for being old and pearl yellow. Don't be shameless. No one expected that being a mistress could be so sturdy. The original woman was trembling with anger, pointing at the little three and wanting to scold. But I don't know what to scold. At this time, a 40-something. The fat man, Lu Zhongtao, appeared. How did you get such a woman into the company? What's the fuss? Don't be ashamed. It's better to be rich. Don't you see it? The little three who hugs left and right is Sorgan. The original partner dare not put a fart. This boss Lu is not authentic. There are two former couples who have forgotten. That's the way the world is. How many rich wives? I can't marry a wife without money. I didn't see such a big building built opposite them. Many grandchildren. People over there are talking about Lu Zhongtao's lace news. A man with gold chain came out. He looks like he's in his 20s, come out and viciously disperse the onlookers. Those who watched the fun just chased a bunch of people away. But he saw Zhang Anping. After being stunned for a moment, he immediately squeezed out a smiling face. Oh, Zhang Anping, why are you here? Did you just come? See someone coming? Zhang Anping quietly opened the distance with Wang Daji. Oh my god, what are you doing here? Aren't you with your sister? Why didn't you see your sister? Oh, my sister. My sister has something to do. Let's go. We rarely meet. Go out for a drink. By the way, how did you come here? Aren't you in Zhangzhouan? Did you know that Zhang Quan was arrested? The man pulled Zhang Anping and walked forward. Looking at the two, they look very familiar. Zhang Anping winked at Wang Daji's signal not to follow. Wang Daji knows it well over there. Just turn around and leave. Just a low point in my heart. Who the hell is this guy? To be so familiar with Zhang Anping. And look at the way they talk. It's confusing, even real-world friends. My identity is not invisible. Why can't that person called Xiaoqian see it? Brother Anping, the person who stood next to you just now, I see you are very close. You know him? Who do you know? I just saw a group of people here. I want to see what's lively. I ran over and saw nothing, just happened to see you. Oops, you've changed a lot. If you don't call me, how could I have imagined meeting you here? Who is that next to me? I bet you don't either. The person next to you is surnamed Wang. My name is Wang Daji. He is the boss of Yipin Fresh Shrimp. Do you know Yipin Fresh Shrimp? There are many sales points in the city. It was everywhere. I didn't expect it. Song Xiaotian has such a clear understanding of Wang Daji. True, but he doesn't know I am the boss of Yipin Fresh Shrimp. Hey. Wang Daji has to listen to him when he breaks up. Yipin Fresh Shrimp. Why does that name sound so familiar? I didn't notice it just now. The man doesn't look good. It's unexpected. Xiaotian, how do you know him? Song Xiaotian didn't expect it at all. Zhang Anping is the boss of Yipin Fresh Shrimp. 10,000 impossible. How can a lobster seller make so much money? God, don't be deceived. Zhang Anping's half smile. Let Song Xiaotian think that Zhang Anping doesn't believe it. Joke him. Really, my people are staring all the time, in exchange for this intermediate profit. When I told my brother-in-law also complimented me on my good taste. Say I have the brain to find projects. He said it was very profitable. Small investment pays off quickly. The rate of return is too high. Very supportive. Song Xiaotian looked proud. When I first came up with this project, Lu Zhongtao said that the profit is very large. Even helped him find out. The owner of this Yipin Fresh Shrimp. It's Wang Da who sells lobsters in Binhe Park. Who is your brother-in-law? Didn't your sister say she wasn't married? Suddenly, Zhang Anping said something buzzing. Seems a little unhappy. This sentence. It is very suitable for his character in Song Xiaotian's eyes. That's his sister's spare tire simp. My sister is not married, but my brother-in-law likes him. My sister can't help it. But you also know my sister's personality. He's used to being in charge. But my brother-in-law's parents are a little unhappy. Hey, I'm too lazy to care about this. Anyway, my brother-in-law is willing to invest in me. Do you think this is the reason? Song Xiaotian looks sober in the world. I can't wait to tell Zhang Anping. If you have the ability to invest in him, give him money to keep his family well. He also called you brother-in-law. Heh, he won't suffer anyway. Song Xiaotian said this. Zhang Anping immediately understood. It turned out that Song Xiaoya hooked up with a woman, Fu Liu Zhongtao. And then, Song Xiaotian is also waiting for Lu Zhongtao to invest in him. This investment, you also have to have a project that can impress Lu Zhongtao. He took a fancy to the business model of Yipin Fresh Shrimp, but Lu Zhongtao still thinks it's good, have been encouraging. And Song Xiaotian was wondering, let Yipin Fresh Shrimp close its doors. So all kinds of dirty tricks were used, Tanata stay point, then let some gangsters steal their refrigerator or something. Things done by people like Song Xiaotian. Oh, I think that new shrimp is doing well. If you want to steal other people's business, you have to have a way. Don't worry about this. Do you know that Yipin Fresh Shrimp, the agency was smashed? Hey, people now rent their own stores to do business. As long as they rent the store, I have a way to deal with him. Song Xiaotian said proudly. But having said that, I refused to say the next words because he felt that he had said too much today. Back to Shili River, Zhang An found Wang Daji take Song Xiaoqian's fancy to the project of Yipin fresh shrimp, it told Wang Daji. Now under, our guys followed those guys into this AMA. It thought Liu Zhongtao was up to something. I didn't expect it to be his brother-in-law. What ashit brother-in-law? Wang Daji snorted. This Song Xiaoqian is Liu Zhongtao's younger brother. What brother-in-law? The Song Xiaoqian is easy to deal with. Don't you worry. Just follow our original plan. How many facades do you see that I like today? Just rent it all. I listened to you. I'm on it. Wang Daji heard Zhang Anping. Let him rent the facade again. Also figure out the people behind the scenes. This time he didn't hesitate any longer. Anyway, he listens to Zhang Anping. Do what you want. You will be in the light from now on. I try to keep a low profile. Someone asked you. Just say that Yipin fresh shrimp is your business. This sentence made Wang Daji nod uncontrollably. I'm a little excited. If it weren't for following Zhang Anping, he never dreamed of it. Selling lobster here can make a profit of tens of thousands a day. Explain these things. Zhang Anping thought about it. Went to the Delong processing factory. Yesterday, I explained that the royal brothers delivered the goods to the countryside. They should have results today. Wait until he goes there. Just meet the warehouse and restock the royal brothers. It turns out that the royal brothers. Yesterday, I pulled the ground cage to the field to sell it. Sales are actually good, and they are also willing to endure hardship. I couldn't bear to come back early that night. It was sold until after dark before returning to the city. I left early this morning before dawn. I even went out with a searchlight this time, so that by evening you can sell fire directly at the entrance of the village. To make the royal brothers so desperate. Naturally, it is because Zhang Anping not only pays high wages, give them extra bonuses. Among the royal brothers, the emperor sold 700 ground cages in one day yesterday. The income received is more than 20 yuan a day. It's too satisfying for them. Boss, you can't recruit anyone yet? My brother-in-law has nothing to do. Can you also help sell the floor cage? Boss Wang looked at the floor cage full of rooms. A tentative question. Hire the same salary as you. As long as you have the ability, you can recruit. Zhang Anping agreed with a smile. The two were talking. I heard someone shouting, Zhang Anping outside. Is Zhang Anping here? This sound is familiar. Zhang Anping came out quickly, and the people were stunned. This person is actually Sun Yizhang. Anping was a little surprised. Ask him how he ended up here. I'm in a hurry. I searched several places. They said you'd be here by now. Zhang Quan escaped from prison. I got a notice here. I'm afraid something will happen to you, so I came to inform you. You'd better pay attention during this time. Don't walk alone. Try to have someone by your side. If you find anything suspicious, feel free to contact us. Sun Yi also threw a coat for this matter. They handled Zhang Quan's case. Who knew the case was decided and the person ran away in prison? That's a big problem. Zhang Quan ran away. Comrade Sun Yi, can you get some people here? Protect by our side. Especially my wife and children. I'm really worried about this. When Zhang Anping heard the news, even if the whole person is calm, I'm also a little uneasy. If he is released from prison, I will definitely deal with my own feelings. In this case, one is in the light and the other is in the dark. He will be more careful. It may even be a little aggressive, self-defense weapon. But what about Xiaobao and Zhao Lingyan? We're short-staffed at the moment, but I will respond to your request to the above. If it really doesn't work, I'll think of a way for you. The manpower is already tight at this time. It is indeed difficult to remove people to protect Zhang Anping. Sun Yi thought for a while. No matter how difficult it is, you have to find a way to overcome it. Big deal. I have been hanging around Zhang Anping a lot these days. I really can't find some retired comrades by myself. Some fresh faces are around Zhang Anping to protect him. Soon Sun Yi put his ideas, communicated with Zhang Anping. This made Zhang Anping nod uncontrollably. I happen to have a new house over there. 6 houses are enough for your people. Aggrieved the tenant? Zhuang Chen cooperates with me. It's not easy to attract attention. Zhang Anping also knows that at this time, try to keep a low profile. Not letting Zhang Quan find it is the right way. And his place. Try not to expose the house as much as possible. For him to buy a house in the city to show off or something. None of this matters, is less important than the safety of his wife and children. After Sun Yi and Zhang Anping discussed it, left soon, I can't help it. I'm too busy. Busy to catch Zhang Quan back. Zhang Anping doesn't have time to watch it now. What is the performance report of the Delong processing plant? Just got a rough idea. No, yesterday. Royal dude, they sold over 2,000 ground cages a day, take back more than 20,000. This underground cage processing factory has never had much cash. It was a shot in the arm. After he explained Wanger a few sentences, I left the underground cage processing factory, hurry home. Looking at Zhang Anping with a bad face. Zhao Lingyun is a little worried about Anping. What's wrong with you? Are you too tired recently? Why don't you take a few days off? I'm pretty satisfied with my life now. Don't tire yourself out. Zhang Quan escaped from prison. The village is not safe. Pack up now. I often take you to lock the door. We used to live there for a while. When Zhang Quan was caught and shot, you want to come back and come back again. Zhang Anping chooses to tell the truth. This is no small matter. Zhang Quan hates himself. When Zhao Lingyan died in his previous life, he thinks it has something to do with Zhang Quan, and so for the rest of his life, he worried that it would happen again. I'm going to clean up. Zhao Lingyan also knows that safety comes first at this time. Especially Xiaobao. Zhang Quan's hands have stained human lives. Who knew when he was so evil? Will you start with Xiaobao? So Zhao Lingyan packed up a few clothes a little bit. Just carry Xiaobao and Zhang Anping into the city. However, in order to avoid Xiaobao from catching a cold from the wind, Zhang Anping's motorcycle drives very slowly and put Xiaobao between him and Zhao Lingyan. Hold it tight. And Xiaobao rode a motorcycle into the city for the first time. Excited. Chirping horns along the way. I'm flying so fast. Oh, Xiaobao's voice is full of joy. This made Zhao Lingyan, who was originally a little worried, can't help but play. This kid is a pistachio. What was originally worrying was caused by him. I'm in a much better mood. When entering the city, Zhang Anping looked at the sky as it was getting late. I found a barbecue stand to get something to eat. It's the first time Xiaobao has eaten barbecue when he grows so big. A pair of eyes widened. The saliva keeps flowing out. Barbecue with chili on top. You can only eat this bunch. Seeing the happy appearance of Zhang Anping's family, not far away, a pair of eyes showed a vicious expression. At this time, Song Xiaoya was looking viciously at Zhang Anping's family of 3. I feel very uncomfortable. He felt that even if he became someone else's mistress, but Zhang Anping should also have him in his heart. You should hate Zhao Lingyan. At that time, Song Xiaoya walked over with a bad face. Anyan Basin. It's not that the two of us are in town to catch up. How did you bring this broom star? Xiaobao had been looking forward to eating some barbecue, but the moment he saw Song Xiaoya, he was so frightened that he shivered, quickly hiding in his mother's arms. His wide eyes were filled with terror as he looked at Song Xiaoya. In Xiaobao's memory, whenever he saw this woman, his father would start hitting people. Zhao Lingyan was shocked, giving Zhang Anping a glance. She never would have thought that he was entangled with Song Xiaoya again. Their issues stemmed from Song Xiaoya. Because of her, Zhang Anping and Zhao Lingyan had separate bedrooms. Whenever Zhang Anping found even the smallest fault, he would take it out on her and their child, often beating them. Every time he hit them, Zhang Anping would yell, blaming them for standing in the way of his happiness with Xiaoya. He said it was all their fault. For the past few days, Zhang Anping had seemed like a changed person, never mentioning Song Xiaoya. But now it turned out, the two of them had already rekindled their relationship. Song Xiaoya looked at Zhao Lingyan proudly, like a peacock showing off its plumage. She loved this feeling, loved when men circled around her. She thrived on the hatred from other women, knowing there was nothing they could do about it. Who do you think you are, out here selling yourself? Wearing something so revealing, do you really think your body is worth that much? Zhang Anping's words caught Song Xiaoya off guard. Zhang Anping, it's me, Song Xiaoya. Are you blind? Are you blind? Your whole family must be blind. Can't you see I'm here eating with my wife and child? What are you doing here, causing a scene? I don't know you. Are you going to leave or not? If not, I'll call the police and say you're out here selling yourself. Zhang Anping said this loudly, drawing the attention of everyone in the restaurant. A customer commented, "This girl looks pretty good. How much for a meal with us? Join us later, and we'll have some fun." Another one chimed in, "She's really out of line. Trying to get close to a man who's with his wife and kid. What man doesn't leave after pulling his pants back up? She's really asking for it." With that, all the male customers in the restaurant started treating Song Xiaoya like she was selling herself. "Zhang Anping, how dare you humiliate me? I'll fight you. You bastard, you dared to hit me? I won't let you off. Just you wait." "Lingyan, don't listen to her nonsense. This woman is no good. She's been some rich guy's mistress, and now she's deliberately trying to seduce me. She's just a cheap tramp. Ignore her." Zhang Anping's words silenced Zhao Lingyan. When they finished paying and left, Zhao Lingyan was holding Xiaobao, walking silently ahead, refusing to get on the motorcycle. Her demeanor left Zhang Anping panicking inside. "Oh no, I even hit a woman just now. Why is my wife still upset?" He was bewildered, feeling that women's hearts were like the deep ocean, impossible to fathom. He quickly followed after her, putting on a playful smile, trying to smooth things over. Wife, I'm taking you to a special place. I bought a new house over here. I'll take you to see it tonight." "No, we're going back to the village. You can stay in the city with Song Xiaoya." "Lingjin, listen to me. I bought that house a while ago. I've been planning to surprise you and bring you over, but Xiaobao got sick with a cough and then had stomach issues, so everything got delayed. That Song Xiaoya, she became Lu Zhongtao's mistress. She's been exposed for the cheap person she is. We don't need to let her get to us. Let's go check out the house first. My mom is already there. You can say hello." Left with no choice, Zhang Anping used Jin Chanfang's presence as a way to lure her over. The night was dark, and all of Zhangzhuan had fallen silent. The daytime hustle and bustle were gone, replaced by the tranquil sounds of crickets and frogs. At this moment, Zhang Quan was sneaking out, moving cautiously. In his mind, Zhang Quan was calculating. He wasn't sure how many people were at Zhang Anping's house, but his plan was to eliminate everyone, especially Zhang Anping's wife, Zhao Lingyun. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, and he had long coveted her. No matter what, this time he was determined to get rid of them, leaving no one behind. However, as he passed by Zhang Yongjin's house, he overheard something troubling. That bastard Zhang Anping was indeed cautious. He had heard that Zhang Quan had escaped and had already taken his family to the city for safety. Zhang Yongjin had hoped Zhang Quan would finish off that scoundrel, but now it seemed that plan was ruined. Hearing that Zhang Anping had fled, Zhang Quan's eyes turned red with fury. That cunning Zhang Anping. Heading to the city was his smartest move yet. This decision ultimately saved Zhang Quan's life. Because at this moment, Zhang Anping's family is already a net of heaven and earth. The other side. Zhang Anping was licking Zhao Lingyun madly. To ease the relationship between husband and wife, Lingyun, you are so beautiful and capable. How can you still settle accounts? I'll take you to the Dilong processing factory to have a look. You help me plate the tent. I know you're very good at accounting. Not like my little trash. Under Zhang Anping's soft grinding and hard bubble, Zhao Lingyun followed Zhang Anping to the processing plant. When Zhao Lingyun passes by, I saw the darkness in the room. When it's all busy workers, Zhao Lingyun's eyes straightened. He was shocked. You have so many people driving. Looking at Zhao Lingyun's surprised expression, Zhang Anping looked proud. It started with just a few people. Later, if there are many goods, people will often be recruited. I don't manage much either. There are so many people. And there, Zhao Lingyun also heard Wang Er's dancing praise. Zhang Anping, I really didn't expect it. Your man is really amazing. Just figure out how to make an earth dragon. We set up a processing plant. Start a business in the city alone. So business is really good. Now the Anping brothers came up with this way to deliver goods to the countryside again. Then layer by layer, solve our cage sales problem at once, and product backlog issues. It was amazing. He is very smart. Watching Wang Er praise Zhang Anping like this, Zhao Lingyun also felt a burst of joy in his heart. He didn't expect Zhang Anping to be so strong either. Not this cage processing factory. Our brother Zhang didn't care much about him. Just a few days ago, casually look at the backlog of floor cages. Just come up with an idea. Guess how much cash you can sell in a day. Wang Er treated Zhang Anping at this time. Simply admirable. This is their home too. The staff who have been particularly protective of Zhang Anping in the village. This number. Wang Er stretched out 5 fingers. This surprised Zhao Lingyun. 5,000 a day, more than 5,000. It's 50,000. Where did you find a husband? Did you find a money printing machine at home? But Anping really fought. 2 factories are enough to keep him busy. I have to run back every day to accompany you and Xiaobao. The truth is a good man. Wang Er's praise of Zhang Anping is simply hype. I just heard this in Zhao Lingyun's ears. It's also very pleasant to the ear. I was still a little sulking towards Zhang Anping. By Wang Er, I feel a lot better. The expression on his face also softened. At this moment, Zhao Lingyun had some regrets. I just feel that I really misunderstood Zhang Anping. A man in a short time. Run out of 2 not-so-small venues. Where does he have time to think? Love things. I'm still too shallow. Why don't you trust this man? Go back for dinner tonight. I'll make you something delicious and make it up for you. Yeah, okay. I'm going to buy some chives and some big kidneys. Let's get together as a family tonight. The family sits together happily at night. Anna will have the high school entrance examination tomorrow. Go to bed early after dinner. Rejuvenate. The high school entrance examination will be held tomorrow. So soon to hear about the girls' high school entrance examination tomorrow. Zhang Anping frowned. Something heavy. Your girl is very diligent. Have him back. Cooking and doing housework can help me. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not worried about girls going home after high school entrance examination. I have another thing. Think about it. He was not thinking of Anna Zhang, but another big thing. The big event happened on the first day of the senior high school entrance examination. Oops, I forgot to bring your dad dinner. Why didn't you remind me? Broken. That old thing is probably going to faint from hunger. Lao Zhang, your son hasn't come to bring you dinner yet? Did I forget you? Why don't you eat mine? I don't have a son. My son is long dead. After saying that, Zhang Yongbin began to cry in pain. He's really hungry. Lingjin, you are checking the account here? I'm going out. Wait until I come back to pick you up at night. Don't go out by yourself. Seeing Zhao Lingyun nod, Zhang Anping left in a hurry. Because something big is going to happen today. It's the fire in the horse farm warehouse. Li Junming, in a previous life. Although I was lucky enough to save my life. But there was a big scar on the face, extremely hideous. So lonely, I don't even have a wife. I almost ended up begging. Although Li Dei is not a thing. But Li Junming is still a good boy. He really didn't want to see his miserable life. To the stable, Zhang Anping called out Li Junming. said to let him go back to Zhangjuan. It was said that Zhang Maokai was uncomfortable. I want to meet Li Junming. Let him hurry over. Zhang Maokai is Li Junming's grandfather, old too. The elderly have 3 diseases when they are old. No one can tell the 2 pains. Li Junming is riding a bicycle. 2 or 3 hours back and forth. Ma Fengchun warehouse management. Song Li Junming did not ask for leave. Take advantage of the back doorman to go to the toilet. Sneaking out on a bicycle. I bought a few things, by the way. You left in a hurry. Shortly after Li Junming left, a few people in the warehouse got together to smoke and chat. While chatting happily, someone shouted, "Those who smoke promise. Throw the cigarette butt and run out." That cigarette butt happened to be thrown into a pile of fabric debris. It's windy today, and that fabric is flammable. After a while, the Kung Fu warehouse will have smoke and odor. It's just that no one noticed, and has been paying attention to the warehouse side. Zhang Anping of the situation immediately rushed out. Hurry up and call someone to say that the warehouse of the stable yard is on fire. Even if Zhang Anping found the fire early, he shouted for help. But it's very windy today. Again, a warehouse full of fabrics. The fire is so strong by the wind that people can't open their eyes. The horse farm workers all started self-rescue at this time. At this moment, leading a group of security guards couldn't stop busting water pipes. While trying to rescue the staff at the warehouse, Li Dai was anxious. Just keep yelling at the warehouse. Where are you? Come out quickly. Come out quickly. There are warehouse's staff rushing out outside. Li Jie has no son at all. Hurry up and ask them one by one, have you seen my son Li Junming? But everyone is shaking their heads. Said he didn't see Li Junming. Someone rushed out shouting, there are still people in the warehouse. Too much smoke. Everyone is stunned. I'm afraid it won't work. The fire is burning right now. Li Dai turned around in a hurry, looking eagerly at the warehouse in the fire. Hope someone can rush out. You can. You promised the doctor. Li Dai stared at the fire with red eyes. He shouted helplessly inside. But the smoke was billowing. I can't hear any sound inside at this time, and the warehouse's staff who rushed out. There is no such thing as his son Li Junmin must have been trapped in the fire. Li Dai is going crazy just thinking about this. At this moment, he suddenly made an unexpected move. Li Dai was draped in a thick wet blanket. I plan to rush into the fire. A co-worker who knew him grabbed Li Dai, roared that you're crazy, a fire this big could kill people. My son is inside, I can't live, if he dies I'm so old. The Li family can't live without. Leaning back, is dragging his hand. Li Dai rushed into the fire. Soon, Li Dai rushed out with a man on his back. Shout someone while rushing. There are still people inside. Come and meet me. Wait until Li Dai rushes, somewhere with a little less smoke. Only then did he have time to take a look at the person he was carrying. I'm so angry when I see my mouth. Where is his son? Li Junming? This is another He Junming, not very good relationship warehouse management. He can't be angry. Throw it to the ground. He shouted outside that the man was not dead. Somebody pull it out. After Li Jie shouted these words, he rushed into the sea of fire again. This is not a fan. Then his son must still be inside. And Zhang Anping over there is also helping to save people at this time. When you see a person being carried out, it turned out to be burnt black. Li Jie was still yelling loudly at this time. Let me in. If I want to go in, go to Ming. I'm going to Ming. My son is still inside. Please save my son. That's a life. I'm begging you. Suddenly he found Zhang Anping in the crowd. Like seeing a savior, he knelt beside Zhang Anping with a plop, howling at him with tears streaming down his face. Enko, please save your cousin Ming. That's a life. He's your brother. Dear, it's a blood relative. At this moment, Li Dai's intention is to seize the life-saving straw. Pulling Zhang Anping's wrist, ask him to rush into the fire to save people. But Zhang Anping threw his hand away. Bend down and lower your voice. And she whispered something into his ear. Li Dali, when my mother knelt down and begged my grandfather for money. When saving lives. What did you say? That's just borrowing money. You said you can't borrow money even if you throw it in the water. This time, he wants me to save Li Junming with my life. You are delusional. Zhang Anping's voice is not loud, but only Li Dali could hear it. He looked at Zhang Anping with wide eyes in horror. It's like looking at a monster. Then kowtowed to him. Ando Anhe, I was wrong. I was wrong. Please save Junming. I only have one sun tooth. I only have one store. Zhang Anping. This sentence says that Li Dai's whole person is shaky. Suddenly he looked at Zhang Anping, anxious and angry. I spit out a mouthful of blood. The whole person fell to the ground at once. In a panic, someone shouted, throw it away a bit. The warehouse is collapsing. Where to collapse? Where are you going? Li Dai suddenly yelled. In a previous life he had heard of the fire at the stable. It's about the last warehouse fire. The doorknob didn't come in.